Okay, I thought I would do a video. Had a few people asking questions, and right now is the London, right? The London, right? It's actually moved previously, so I call this London right now, London Money Zone. Okay, now I've got put it in the chat. Who's worried here? You'll be right, mate. I I know what it's like. Okay, there's a lot of different strategies out there, right? And I remember one person would say to me, "This is the best indicator. This is the best strategy. This this is the best Fib settings, the Fibonacci settings. These moving averages are the best to use. You got to use these. You got to learn this strategy. You got to, And it was like a puzzle, and I just could not put the pieces together. And so I searched and searched and searched. And then the more I searched, the more confused I got. And there was, some strategies that agreed with me that I could, the concept of it, like I paid a lot of money and I joined a group, ICT as well, a year and a half, and it just breaker blocks. So I'm like, why did they have to change the language on me? you know, and it just didn't suit me. And like in here, right, the orb, right, is a breakout. Now, I've done breakout trading like for a long time, but the orb, if you Google it, it is everywhere, right? And there's gurus out there that will say to you, this is the best strategy on the orb, right? And my friend, I've got a few friends, but Kim Moore, she charges, quite a lot. And I joined a group with Pat, right? And I was paying $100 a month, and I got to learn his way with the orb, right? And then I joined another group, and they, because that's what we do as traders, right? And then you, as a person, you find what works for you and what doesn't. And what I found out was that the market tells you, right? Moving averages and indicators, they help you guide you, right? Nothing wrong with a sniper. I'm not saying indicators are bad, but if you've ever listened to a lot of the videos in the past, I've always said I'm a naked chart trader. I still am to this day, right? But if you have anything on your chart, right? Doesn't matter. If I open up all my templates, I have so many different strategy templates. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Right? But when I stopped and I just looked at the market, and I could see that it just repeats itself. And going to the higher time frames, like the month, like Creeper Effects, he talks about going to the higher time frames, like, the monthly, then to the 3 day. You'll see Tyshon, he posted, the different time frames. So every trader that I know does that. But you don't have to make it difficult, right? If you look in and you can see that on the 4 hour, right? The 4 hour, the daily, there's sellers. The 3 day, selling. Month is a sell, right? Okay, it's all selling. So you're going with the market, right? And as it pulls back, like as I said before, like everyone had their settings. I remember the settings for the Fibonacci. This is how you use it. Look, okay, did it come to this level? Yes, it did. There we go. Let's go. Where's it going? Made a lower low here. It's lower than this one here. Now we're starting to turn around. There's actually even like a head and shoulder pattern, right? Comes in, we make a bearish pattern here. Put this here, right? Breaks it. Now we are going to where? Zones. The market, look to the left. Look to the left. The market, boom, boom. Where price had an impulse up, market comes down to it, right? See, impulse up, right? Look to the left. Look to the left. Right? Look to the left. You see, touched, boom, right? But it does this on all the different time frames, right? Even on the 1 second, the 5 second, don't get overwhelmed with, you know, I remember feeling like everyone, I was just searching and searching and searching, and it was, oh, you know, the money that I've spent on courses, on groups, right? Okay. I love Mamba effects. If you're not in with Mamba effects, right? Brilliant. You'll see how simple trading is. It's, like other traders, break of structure, right? Pullbacks into the moving averages, right? But I think what happens is people get overwhelmed with every info that comes, like every trader has a different strategy, and they probably, if they've got they've been around for a while, they've probably got a lot all in together. It's not that one strategy doesn't work, they all work, right? Indicators, they all work if you're in line with the market, right? If I go in on here and I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to get in for the buy, it can, but we want to go with the trend. See, so this here, right, I'm not going to go into anything in depth on the fibs, but if we go to these zones, so when I think I put it in the chat, all right, put it in the chat, where is it? Somewhere in the chat and Discord. I mentioned here, these are the levels, right? If this level gets broken, it's probably going to come down to this level. Right? It was also a break of a trend line, right? Okay, this was bullish. Where was it going? Right, there is a zone, but there are fib levels. That's why in the guide rules, that I talk about, I go, there's fibs. They act as support and resistance and turnaround areas, and there's, oh my goodness, there's so many different strategies and things like that. I'm not even going to go into it, but it came to here at a fib, right? The market broke, but in here is a bullish pattern. But to keep things simple, a breaker structure, where's it heading? Where is this going on the higher time frames, right? We're breaking and retesting. We're breaking, we're retesting. We're breaking, we're retesting. We're breaking, and we're just continually in a downtrend. So even though you can buy, right, you are safer going with the trend, right? So I'm looking the higher time frames, right? I'm a naked chart trader, right? Before I put anything on my charts, I'm looking at the market. Then we're going down, 5 minute, right? And you see, it's just breaking. Where's it going to? Look to the left. Look how it's making. You can feel it's going to sell, right? These are getting a lower bearish pattern, and boom. So I was it this one? I remember. Oh yeah, this here, right? This here, right? Looking here, and I put in the chat. If it breaks here, it's probably going to come up, right? But you can see if you have a look in right in here, Now think about head and shoulder patterns. What do you see right in here? Right? I see, where's my thing? Right? There, we've got a left, we've got a right, I mean a head, and we've got a right, right? And we're going in a downtrend, right? This is making lows. What's it doing here? Whoop, it made a low, right? And then boom, then the sellers all come in, right? But all it's doing is breaking levels, right? It's breaking levels, right? But you want to look at the higher time frames, okay? So, and then you look to the left, where could price possibly come to, right? It might stop here at a different level here, right? But this is selling, heavily selling, right? What do we have here? You can see the pattern. I'm a huge pattern trader. You're looking at this, right? Okay, it's like a wedge in here, right? Wedgie, wedgie, wedgie. And even on these, look at these breaks, boom. Another one here, right? Boom, boom, boom. This morning, right? This was, oh, I couldn't get on. It was a stupid internet, right? What happened? I'll put it in the chat. I think in here, right in here. This one here, is it this one? Let's see if I put it up in here. Right, this here. That was not it. No, it was before that. It was before that. Okay, this one. This is before the market, right? I'm looking. What's the market doing? Right, just keep it simple. Don't get overwhelmed. Right? Okay, where's the market going? It's breaking, right? It's retesting. It's making lows, right? Lower lows, lower highs, right? This area here, what am I doing? I'm looking to the left, right? It's breaking structure. This is very bearish, bearish, right? Just this simple, very simple. I'll be on tomorrow, right? As well, and and on gold and other instruments as well, right? But I'll have these levels, and if they start breaking, I get in for a buy or a sell. But the market, right, it does repeat itself, but sometimes it does, you don't see anything. And then other times it's just beautiful price action. Right? You'll just, some traders will say, oh, that is perfect, right? Because it's so clear. And other times it's like you're in there and you want to make money because you're stressed in life, right? And you go, I want to make money. I need to make money. I have to make money, right? And that's when you make decisions based on the need, not on you don't want to be based on emotions, right? I know not to trade before my period, right? That is me, right? Oh my goodness, I am spasticated. I get angry, and I'm sorry if I get angry at you. I'm German. German, don't come near me around that time. But the thing is this is selling, yeah? Let's see, yeah, right? And if it breaks this zone, right? This here, right? It broke, there's money. Breaks, there's some money here, right? Look to the left, right? Breaks, retests. What pattern is going to form here? So if I see this, right? Okay. And I see a bearish pattern, and then the moving averages go, right? And I get a sniper here. I'm not in here, you know, in here, right? I'm here in here, right? This sometimes there's traders that will come in here and buy, right? They'll stagger in buys, right? And that's nothing wrong with that. at all, right? Just be careful if it does start breaking, right? And this is not a true pattern, and you don't want to hold that trade. You want to get out. If you're in here and you're staggering, layering, whatever you want to call it, right? You know, you've got to be wary that you're going to take a loss, right? But there's nothing wrong with doing that, and I know plenty of traders that do that as well, right? You can do both. You can be in here, and then it starts crawling over, and you add positions, right? Boom, 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 easy money, right? But I'm looking. What patterns are forming here? What's happening? This is a breaker structure. I am a breaker structure trend trader myself. Right? I'm a huge pattern trader, and I know there's people out there that just look like multi-millionaires that use just the wedge. A wedge. They look for the wedges on all the markets and they get in on those wedges. Right? A wedge, so like this, a wedge. So the market squeezes. It's either going to go up or down, or sometimes it just doesn't do anything and it just you just your market has just taken your money. But a lot of the times it'll come out, right? And in this market comes up and a squeeze, right? And boom. So in here, when this has an impulse up and a correction, right? And the signal sniper is in here, right? I'm in, right? Where's it going to? If you look to the left, if it's going to a zone, this is an area where you can hold, right? Hold. This is what I call the volume. Why do they just push it, right? They're pushing it, they're squeezing it like a cooker. They're squeezing, squeezing, and poof, right? Okay. So the market creates these patterns, right? My friend Ken, he sent me some photos today with the sniper, and I'll have to put it in the chat. And you can see there's a slant, like there's a flag, right? And the market's trending, and that's where you buy, right? Okay, and I will put that in. But the market just, if I'm going to be looking for a sell or a buy right now, right? Let me go onto here. All right, hang on. Okay. All right. This is a retracement. This bounced off here, right? This is going against the trend. You don't know if they're going to break through this. I'd rather go with the trend. This here, see this here? What pattern do you see? It's very, very, very obvious pattern, right? Here, let me just draw it. There, right? Okay, in this here. And I know there's a lot in here like this. I could put it probably another 20, where is it? 20 strategies in here. 20, right? If like David, he because there's quite a few people that um in this group are from Sniper, right? They're just here, makes money, right? It's a breakout, right? The money zone, I did this years ago. It's a breakout, you know. Is it breaks out, boom, right? Okay, old videos, but it's not that strategies don't work. It's just you have to find something that works for you, you know. Yeah, he's probably a sniper, yeah. Okay, but um, what was I going to say? In the forex in here, where is it? Patterns, right? All these things in here. This guy here, like, talks about the moving average pullback, and No, no, not this one. Someone, did I put it in here? Anyway, I should put it in here, right? But the market does repeat itself. This is brilliant, right? And if you look at the patterns, you open up the patterns, right? They're so simple. People see it. But you have to, as a trader, you have to go, well, what is this? Is it breaking? And then this, you can see when the volume come in, and this is the money, when it's the 11 o'clock, right? On the hour, right? And you'll see it a lot of the times as well around 12 as well, and look here, 10, right? When there's the hour open, boom. I trade a lot of gold, and you know, in here, I'm looking for sells, but look, see this? It's breaking. Right? I have like this one here. This alerts me. This is another strategy. I combine it with from a man named trader named Ernesto, right? But it's it's a breaker structure, right? You're going to alert. What's it doing? It's underneath. Don't worry about the KC. This is for reversals, right? Right. Okay. But look at the moving averages, right? And there's just some traders that will use all kinds of different moving averages. They use ribbons, and it's telling you the market is heavily trending because it's apart, right? When it crosses over, right? And a lot of traders, they go, oh, it's crossed over, I'm going to get in for a buy. But you have to do it with price action, right? So I look, what's the market doing? It's selling, right? We're breaking structure. We're breaking structure. See, the indicator, it doesn't go all the way across, but right, it's breaking. I have it on the 5 minute for my breaks, right? Okay, but this, you can put any kind of indicator on. You can put your line on there and go, oh, look, it's broken. Are we going to get in for a sell? But you need to look around. What's the market doing, right? Put here, what's the market doing here? Like this here, right? I have my trend line, right? I look, I go, oh, this has touched this channel here, boom, boom, boom. This has touched this here. Let's see if it's going to respect this. If it breaks out of here, right? If this decides to come up here, right, and then have a little dance around here and then starts going up, I'm like, oh, they're breaking out of this area. Now, how far they come up to, I look on the higher time frame, I look at the zones, right? Supply and demand, right? On the higher time frame, I look at it and I go, okay, if this pulls back, right, and then starts going up, making up higher high, where's it heading to, right? And in here, right, this is where I'll take the signals on the sniper, right? But in a downtrend, okay, all right, in a downtrend, I'm looking for sells, right? So this morning, I'll just go here I'll just go Asian, right? Just this off because it's on a lower time frame. It's too much noise. Right, I can't trade like this with all these. I have to get the alerts and then I'll only take it from that, right? But right now, boom, there's money, right? Hang on, it's on the wrong candles. Okay, can you see how it pulls back? There, it pulls back. This is when it comes in, it touches the moving average, right? Oliver Velez, Tyshawn, he mentioned it. Even Rainier, he listened to a lot of Oliver Velez. There's plenty of traders out there that talk about the moving average and the pullback, and Tyshawn shared with me these moving averages, right? Right, but I keep it simple with my price action, right? I want to see where's the market breaking? Where's it going to? Look to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left, right? And then in here, right? In here, what's this doing? It's broken, pulling back, and it's curling over. This here is the perfect sell, right? This is a pattern. It's a continuous pattern, right? You can see we had an impulse down, correction, and it continues to sell. This here lines up with the red. We've got the sell, there's our money. We're going with the trend, right? Right? We're going with the trend, making lower lows and lower highs, right? There's bearish, boom, right? And this morning, hang on, the orb, okay? So I do the orb, let me just take this off, right? Now, this is running into a support area, right? Okay, so if I'm going to get in this here, right, I want to be looking to the left because it can come here. But, right, if I'm going to be in this, I'm going to be careful to see what it's going to do here. I might take profit here and then get in again, right? This here is a perfect area. See that? Here, there's even this pattern in here. Now the moving averages pull back in, then where is it? This one here, this is what Tyshawn shared with me once before as well. This here, it shows a pullback, right? Right? And then in we go, right? And then when I put on, where'd it go? Did I take it off? It's taken off, right? But these orbs are easy money, right? And a lot of traders have their own way of doing it, right? Like Kim Moore, she charges, it's like a very short video, right? I'm in her group, right? Um, she's got a free group, but the if you Google the orb, right, most traders do it in the New York session, okay? But this here is easy money, right? And you can see, look at the candles. I talk about the fat, flat candles. Like if you're in here, right? Oh man, I've got the worst headache. It's terrible. Where am I? Trading view. Uh, how to set up on his own. On his own. How to set up trading view in here, right? Right. If you look in here, okay. Now there's people in here with the sniper from Brian's group, okay? Right? And they use the dot. There's nothing wrong with the dot. And they use it for ES, which is NASDAQ and NQ and SPX 500, right? Okay, and they use it in New York session, right? But I myself, I use, right, different things in different sessions. And sessions, there's different sessions move very differently. But it's the same thing. Like here, where do you put your stop loss, right? Where would I put my stop loss if I'm in a trade, right? If I put the sniper on, hang on, let me just put this on. I'll do a video on that money zone, but right, where am I going to put my stop loss here? If this is going to sell here, right, I'll put it here. Okay, if depending on what I'm trading, like what contracts, okay, I put my stop loss here. Or I can put it above this last high and I don't care about a pullback depending on how many, let me just get rid of this. It's too noisy, right? Depending on, my risk, okay? Some traders will have 5 points or 10 points, you know, different. Some might enter here and they don't care if it pulls back. So for me, I always use micros, right? Micros, um, and then if there is a pullback, it doesn't affect me, but I'll put my stop loss up here, right? But I can tell by looking at the market if the buyers are stepped in. I'll go, oh, I'm out of here, right? But they use those dots, right? The dots, I'll just show. Hang on. Right, just let me just go default, right? Reset. Okay. Right. You see these dots? See how they're here? Boom, 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 and then they turn around, right? You're going with the wave, right? So people use this like this, right? They stick in here, stay in here, right? And if it turns around on them, they'll get out, right? If they get in here for a sell and it starts turning around, they're like, oh, I'm out of this. Right? But the dots are like, it can be a little bit confusing. So I don't use the dots, but others do. I look at the red, I go, the moving averages, right? That's what I use. I'm here. This is selling, right? This is pulling back, right? It breaks the trend line, right? The moving averages are in between. See how the moving averages are in between here? I'm like, I'm staying out of this until it's clear. It's clear here. It's clear. We're selling, right? We're underneath the moving averages. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to get rid of that. I do have a chart with it, and I did put something in here. Um, Asian, nothing. There was a chart I put in, and Ken Marshall, he sent me a photo, and I went, that looks actually really good, and I'm going to do a video on it. All these videos to do. Video. There we go. It's touched this now, right? If you were to get in a sell here and you're not looking to the left or looking at what this is, you might have this change direction on you, right? And we are paid to wait. So many traders are going, oh, I need to make money, right? But when you look, put on a naked chart, right? And you'll see lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower lows, lower lows. Where's it going to? Right? We're going to sell, break a structure. Tomorrow when I trade live, right, I'll be on, okay, something, these, you can see these areas, they're breaking, right? Breaking, right? They're in here, boom, right? So in here, this is touched here. We don't know what it's going to do here. This is at a critical area. Okay, look to the left. Have a look. Let's have a look. I can't see with all my drawing on there. Let it come to broke this. Let me just put it on here. Where's that candle coming to? You just go with the trend. Go with the trend. Go with the trend. Right? Right. You see, price pushed up. Price touched here. This was an area where the buyers stepped in. Always look to the left. See, broke. This was an area where price respected and was a resistance and now support. Boom. Now those areas can break as well. Right? To me, right now, okay, just put on a normal candle. Right? Right? The sellers are in control. But because it is hit this, it's bounced. Right? The only way I'd get into this for a buy is if it started just respecting this and started making higher highs and higher lows in here. But right now, no. No. and the market normally will reverse as well. If it's selling Asian, London, or, it can reverse in the next session. So people that are selling, they get out of their sells, and then the buyers come in for the next session. All right. But I'm like this here, it's breaking. There's your money. Right? If this pulls up, right? If this pulls up, right, like if me looking at this, right, I have my trend line and I watch, okay, what's it going to do? Is it going to like this? All right. If it starts popping down, it's a little head down here, I go, I think the sellers are still selling, right? But we've hit this critical area here, right? But you don't know. I mean, you could put your stop loss here and get in, but I'd rather just wait and wait for these setups. We are paid to wait. We are paid to wait. See this here? We bearish patterns. Boom. And then we put on our moving averages. Right? Okay, right now it is coming, or is it London? Right, London. Oh, I've got to get rid of that. Put on the 15-minute time frame. There we go. There's our money. Boom. See, the money comes in 4 o'clock, my time here in Australia. Oh, in Australia. I'm in Vietnam, but it's 4 o'clock in Brisbane, right? London. But boom, there's your money, right? The orb, right? Okay. Boom. Okay. I know I say, okay. Oh my gosh, my head's going to pop off. There's the money. I would literally be in that trade, go 1 to 1, 1 to 2, 1 to 3, Forex or futures. No one else that I know does it with all these different Londons. Okay, so I'm going to do a video on it. I will, I'm not going to charge people like $500 because I'm just not that type of person. But I do, I have in the past given a lot for free, and this is a business, and I've paid a lot of money. And even if someone pays me $49, I feel respect. This is a very simple strategy. And I do it all along here. And then I'm in here, right? There's my money. There's my break of structure, right? There's a bearish retest here, boom, 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 right? On the 1 minute, I'm entering. I'll look at the lower time frames as well, okay, on the smaller ones, because they show you what the minute is doing. You'll see the same patterns, but it's more, don't get overwhelmed, right? Just this here, we are selling, right? Right. I think I mentioned before, like Paris, brilliant trader. He's got an indicator that they sell. They're selling, right? I have an indicator, right? You use it on the Ninja Trader. But if you try and put in a buy when it's selling, just going against the trend. But I've got the rules, like, on the Ninja Trader, if you have a look, if you come in and you look at the market and you go, like here, right? Use support and resistance, Fibonacci, fair value gaps. You can Google that. It all helps supply and demand. Where's the market heading? Trend lines. If there's wickety whack, right? If there's wickety whack on the candles, if you don't know what that means, we can ask. You can ask. These are questions that you want to ask. What do you mean by wickety whack? They are not embarrassing questions, like, right? Okay, we all were, at times like going, oh, how does this work? I remember when I was with SDS and Rainier was always posting, and I'd be like on the chart. Whatever he posted, I was on my chart. I was like, where did he enter? How come you entered there? Is this I remember because everyone was doing the LBs. I said, is this a proper LB? But the thing is, if you don't ask and if you don't study, right? People want to come into this and they don't want to sit down and really look and but I understand because there's so many different strategies, right? But notice, right? This is what I call the boss. I have my alerts, all these alerts, right? They go off, right? They will tell me when it comes into this, right? Okay, I use the normal candles as well. When it comes into this, I get an alert. I look at the candles. There's my money, right? If I'm doing a reversal. Why is it reversing? Look to the left, right? Okay. This is my an alert system that I use, right? Look, it comes in again. What happens? It's just pulling back into the moving average, but this is selling, right? If you come on the Heikin Ashi candles, right? Moving averages, boom, breaks out again, boom, into the moving average, right? Boom, and again, right? But everything is combined, the channel, the breaks, right? The trend on the higher time frame, right? But these little strategies, right? If I um, put it on, right? Let me just go in here. Put it on here. Okay. There's your money. Easy, right? And then I use these. But do you see how this is in a downtrend? Right, now these I need to put on the 15-minute visibility. Okay, 15 only. Okay. Right, and then only show me the zones on the 15. Okay. But I always look at a naked chart. Right? But look at all the cells. Right? I don't enter on the 5 minute. I'm looking at what's happening on the time frames. Then I'll enter. Right? Right now, it's doing a bit of a quasi. It's respected this, right? Okay. We're still on a downtrend, but it could just be breaking, retesting, right? Here. But this, you don't know if it's going to come up to here or here and then come back down again. You're better to go with the trend, right? These orbs, right? If I come up in New York, right? I've got to stop saying right all the time. Right? Right. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me just get rid of all this stuff. Have a look here. Is this on? Okay. There's yesterday's. There we go. Rightio. Rightio. All right. Where would I where would I be selling according to or buying? Would you place a buy or a sell here? Now, I would not be buying because we're in a downtrend, right? And we're just coming into this zone. Look to the left, right? Look to the left, right here. Even in here, just this, there's no buys, even though it did, right? I'm like gonna wait. There's my break. There's my money. There's the orb. Now there's people that do it on the 15-minute as well. Okay. Where did it go? Yeah, here. It's a 15-minute, right? And they get in, they make money, right? And a lot of traders, you will see that they'll have it systematic and they'll have only 1 to 3 for the proper risk to reward. What happens is they get in, it comes down, they give the money back to the market and it retraces up and keeps on going somewhere else, right? Doesn't always work like that. Okay, so I have my ways of trading the orbs from Sydney, right? Sydney, Asia, London's, New York, the power hour, right? It's easy money, but you still want to go with the trend, right? What's the time now? We're coming into 5 o'clock. So I'll be putting on, which one? This one, I think. Oh, migraine. Okay, now we've got to buy. It's having a retracement up. Even averages are, I've got to get rid of that, this thing. Right? Breaking this could be a potential, but if it this is not something that I'd want to hold myself because it could hit this area, right? Hit this area and then come back down to test this. Now, if this makes a low and doesn't break this, right? Right, and the moving average is coming around. Okay. Now we might be breaking this for a buy up, right? To come back up. Okay, but this is risky here because it's just done this here. Now there's traders that would buy in here, but I'd just wait to see what it does. Right? No, you know what I mean? See this here comes in, right? Right? That's how I trade. I wait. Okay, but there that is money. It's retracing up. Right? The candles are beautiful, but I'd prefer it to come down, make up, quasi, respect, and then go up. Right? And then this opposite over here. Right? But we're heavily selling. So you wait for it. Now sometimes this will just take off and you go, well, I just missed that trade. Right? But see, it could come here and then stop. Right? Okay, but this is not a trade that I would take. This is a trade. Boom, everything is boom, is boom, boom. Okay, but look, be careful because we're into here. Right? Anyway, I think I've gone on enough. So, uh, but it's, whatever, the German DAX, I haven't looked at that for a while. Oh boy, look at that. Okay, London, 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 London. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Power hour. Holy moly. What's it done? What the heck? That mustn't be right. This I love to trade. It's good. Look at it. Look at the cells. Same, same. Same, same, but different. Right? You put it nothing. Just let me just put this on here. Right? Okay. Nothing on here. Where's my moving averages gone? I mustn't put that on here. I mustn't have okay. Ignore. We'll just put that on. See that the moving averages are all, whatever moving average you're using, but I like this. When Tyshawn shared this with me, I thought that's really easy for someone to see, right? It's spacing apart. Beautiful. Then it pulls back together. Boom. Right now it's touching here. Okay. This could come back down again. This is not a good place to buy, right? Unless it starts, like respecting the area and coming back, and then you'll see it. Right, but this, I'm all selling, 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 sell, 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 and look to the left. It doesn't matter what it is, right? This is making highs, high, low, high, highs, right here. Boom, boom, boom. On the 1 minute anyway. Right? And then we had a sell-off. All in here. You know, if something looks messy like this, it probably is, right? I think I go over that, right? If something looks ugly, it probably is. If price has extended, it may reverse. So if it's gone all the way up and you like got a buy and you're like, oh, I'm going to put in a buy, and how come it's not working? It's probably because it's bought up so much and you're buying at a high price. It's better to get in the lower, right? Check all the time frames, all of them. Enter on the 1 minute to get a tight entry. You know, look at what the different time frames are doing. Didn't I put the high time frames in here? Okay. Um, and these in here, like wait for the two bars, right? If they're grey and they're mixed, if you have a look in here, right? You see in here the difference? You just, wow, this is definitely selling, right? And on the Ninja Traders, that indicator is amazing. All right, I've got to stop. I've got to put this in. Got my batteries